Well, I love Lake Effect because I live in Lake Effect in South Bend. So this is no different than a January game, January night in South Bend, Indiana. But it never gets old. It's thrilled to be part of the tournament, and I think we got some rest since playing the night shift in Brooklyn, and excited to play a very good Princeton team tomorrow.
Open it up to questions for Coach Brey. Please raise your hand and we'll get a microphone to you. We're going to start in the back.
Tim Priester, Irish Illustrated. Mike, could you just give us a brief recap of where Bonzie is with Bonzie Colson with the injury?
Yeah, he's much better, Tim. You know, we had some swelling on Saturday and Sunday and Monday, I should say, and it's come down a lot. He's made great progress, doing a little bit more every day, and you know, I think by noon tomorrow, he's one of those guys. He's such a warrior that you tape him, you give him a couple Advil, and cut him loose.
What's your greatest concern or concerns with Princeton?
Well, they're so efficient offensively. I think the three-point line is your major concern. You know, 45% of their shots are from the arc, and they're really efficient, can really shoot it from out there, chasing people off the arc. Now, that's something we've been pretty good at this year, taking away the arc and getting out. I think we're third or fourth in the ACC in three-point field goal percentage defense. But I think that's a key, and then keeping them off the foul line.
Let's go to Mark down here.
Yeah, Coach, I mean, I've seen some, two questions on Matt Farrell. People have compared his demeanor to Bobby Hurley's demeanor. Just could you speak to that? And secondly, I read where Hurley called you during the recruiting process. What was behind that? Was it, why did he call? Did he knew it was a Jersey thing, or his dad, or what?
Well, the demeanor and the edge are the same. You know, it's that I-95 New Jersey edge that both of them have. They actually obviously know Bobby well, recruited him. He tried to recruit him for here at UB, I believe, at the time, and knew him, and called me actually the day I was going down to watch him and said, Coach, I usually don't get involved. He said, I just love him. And he kind of made a comment. He said, he reminds me of myself. I said, well, this evaluation is now over. I know what to do. I think he's better than Hurley because he shoots it better. He shoots it better than Hurley. Yeah.
He's not first-team All-American, though.
I think he's a better player than Hurley because he shoots it better.
Right here, Dana, did you have a question?
Dana O'Neill with ESPN.
Hey, Dana.
Hi, Mike. In some ways, do you feel like Bonzie kind of epitomizes your whole program? I mean, you guys, I was asking, your players always fly under the radar. You always fly under the radar. Bonzie flies under the radar. Are you all one and the same?
We need to hire a new marketing department. You know, why are we always flying under the radar? We've been pretty darn good, but I think that's a good comparison. You know, Bonds has been that undersized guy that when he was being recruited, no one was sure, is he going to be big enough? Is he productive enough? And he probably does epitomize who we've been. Herringody was out of that mold as well. You covered him closely, obviously, when we were in the Big East. We've had a lot of guys like that, but Bonds is he's a good front cover guy for that.
Coach, Heather Prusak with WGRZ TV here in Buffalo. I know you said you're familiar with Lake Effect Snow, but you also have a connection to Buffalo with your son playing football at UB.
Yeah, big time.
How much time did you spend here, and what were your experiences like when he was here?
I still have an open bar tab at the bar at the Marriott Amherst. I'm going to have to go and clear that from 2008. 2008 MAC champs, that's all I'm talking about, baby. I was here for a lot of those games. My son had a fabulous experience at UB playing for Turner Gill. They won the MAC. And as many big games and exciting games as I've been part of, and tomorrow will be one, there's nothing like watching your son play and watching him win a MAC championship in Ford Field back in 2008. So he gave us the scouting report on the steakhouse last night, and but a lot of great memories here at Buffalo and of UB.
And I think just a follow-up, he just got a job at a high school in
Yeah.
North Carolina. What's that like for you to see him
Yeah, it's
continue
neat.
that?
He's a head coach now. He's saying he's all fired up, ready to go. They're moving to Charlotte. He did the college thing. He's going to do the high school thing. And I'm kind of his agent. He'd be pretty good back at UB someday. He'd be pretty good in about 6 or 7 years back at UB. Let's talk UB football. Let's not talk basketball. Let's talk MAC champs, 2008. Yes. Right here.
Coach Mark Tracy with the New York Times. I was wondering, watching tape on Princeton, if you see a little bit of yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The one thing I said to our guys right after the selection show, I said, it's like guarding ourselves every day. They don't turn it over, we don't turn it over. They don't miss free throws, we don't miss free throws. They can shoot it from the arc, and they know how to play and know who they are. It's very, very similar. A coach very familiar with them said to me, they're smart and they're tough, like you. And it really is. And again, they've gotten away from just the pure Princeton offense. They're flowing a little bit more, which is how we've played at Notre Dame. They still have Princeton tendencies, but they're a little more, they're not married to the predictable movement every time down. Two very similar basketball teams, efficient and smart and know who they are and old. But here's the difference. Now I know why Mitch Henderson looks so dang healthy. He hasn't lost since December 22nd. I mean, that's really good for your blood pressure in this business. He hadn't lost since December. What is that like? You go through, 2 months and you don't lose? Must be nice.
Go ahead, Mark.
Right. You talked a little bit about this Sunday night after the selection, but going back to the Princeton offense, I mean, it used to be like way back in the day,
Yeah.
it would be like playing a real unusual team. But now, I mean, it's sort of everybody's sort of co-opted a little bit the spacing and shooting. Could you kind of comment on that? And do they have more back cuts still than other teams?
They still cut, they still really go without it and back cut. I think the tendencies are all there. That's drilled into you in the Princeton stuff. And these kids ran pure Princeton as young guys. I think it's really interesting and brilliant what Mitch has done to get away from it just, that structure every possession and open the floor up a little bit and play. And that's kind of how we've built our program. If you recruit high basketball IQ guys, you can give them some freedom to play. And I think Mitch has done a fabulous job. I also think he's one of the bright young coaches in our profession. He's really gifted.
Any other questions for Coach Brey? If not, Coach, good luck tomorrow.
Who are we? Remember that cheer?
UB.
I remember that cheer, baby.
Every year this team gets here, and every year everyone seems a little surprised. I think Coach Brey flies way under the radar as a coach of prominence. Why do you think that is, and what do you think he does for this program?
VJ, why don't you start us and work our way down?
I think it starts off with the fact that a lot of people think of Notre Dame as a football school. And then, secondly, playing in ACC, you hear a lot about other coaches in ACC, but, what Coach Brey has done, not only the last few years, but, without his entire time at the University of Notre Dame, he's been probably the most successful coach as far as in the state of Indiana by far. And, just a lot of the things that he's done really fly under the radar because of we were in the Big East and then now, being in the ACC.
Matt?
I think it speaks volume of the culture that he's been able to build at Notre Dame and the guys that he's been able to recruit and guys that we've had in the past. I think he's done an incredible job just getting wins and then playing well in big games. He's just a very fun guy to play for. He creates a good environment for us, and we just have a lot of fun playing for him.
Yeah, I agree with both what they said, and Coach does a great job of getting guys who buy into what he's teaching. We always have seniors and juniors playing a lot of minutes, and us three have been fortunate enough to play behind, really good players and learn from them. And yeah, I think, Coach Brey's done an unbelievable job and one of the best coaches in the country. And I think, maybe, we just got to continue to keep winning, and, he'll get some of that credit.
Great. We have a question right here in the center.
This is for anyone on Tom Martin with WIVB here in Buffalo. Obviously, Princeton's on your mind now, but just looking ahead, I know having the defending champs staring down at you on the other side, just any extra excitement of the possibility of getting to face them early on in this?
I think right now, obviously, we know the way this tournament works. Our focus is on Princeton. You really don't want to look past that. They're a really good team, and we're going to have to play really well for 40 minutes on both ends of the floor to move on.
Go ahead, Matt.
Matt Bove, WKBW. You just kind of talked about it, and this is for anybody. 12-5. Historically, there is an upset in the tournament, it seems like every year. How do you make sure that you're not on the wrong side of that upset and you don't move forward or you look ahead, like Tom just asked?
VJ, you want to start?
I think the number one thing is, treating every opponent with respect, regardless of our seed or their seed or anything like that. I think a lot of people were talking about our seed on Sunday when it came out as far as the 12-5 matchup. But behind closed doors, we aren't worried about that at all. We just want to go out there and try to play our game regardless of who we're playing against, when it is, and wherever it is. So.
Other questions? Right behind, 2 rows back.
Question for Steve, Paul Gotham, Pick and Splinters. You mentioned the whole idea of ACC and how it's so strong. You guys have that 4-game losing streak there in the middle. How do you keep things in perspective when you're playing in such a tough conference like that?
Yeah, I think I mentioned before we have a lot of older guys who have been through a long conference season, and playing in the ACC, you're gonna face some adversity. We got off to a great start. We won our first 5 games, but the way the league is, you're gonna run into some bumps along the way. And I think the great thing about this team and the guys up here and Bonzie and the other guys who play, we never lost confidence. We knew we just had to kind of keep plugging. And after that losing streak, we had a home game, and once we got a win, we kind of got it rolling from there. So just never losing confidence, and I think that starts with Coach Brey and the way he keeps us ready, allows us to play loose, and all we needed, I think, was 1 win to get back on track.